Let's begin.
Welcome to Build an Agency, a podcast where we talk about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, growth tactics, building businesses, and the events that affect your company. Let's jump right in. Welcome back to the podcast. We are on episode 10, and we've got a fantastic episode for you today. I'm here in the studio with Attilio.
What's up, guys? We're recording this on Sunday, Father's Day, so I'd like to just go ahead and start out by saying Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, or Happy Not a Father's Day to all the not fathers out there, whichever way you swing it, I guess.
Dude, Father's Day is always a mixed bag, I think, for people because we have so much fatherlessness in our country, you know? So
Yeah.
I know people who, Father's Day is a time to remember, loved ones we've lost and or loved ones that didn't stick around or
Loved ones that we still have.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a mixed bag. One of our clients, he runs a website. It's everyperspective.solutions, and he likes to talk about all kinds of different like cultural topics that are going on in our nation. And he was, I saw him posting on Facebook today, and he was like, "Why don't we just do Parents' Day instead of like Mother's Day or Father's Day? Like rather than being in a situation to where you are focusing on what you don't have, you know what I mean, versus what everyone else has. Like, why don't you just celebrate who's actually in your life?"
Yeah, actually, that's kind of a good... That's kind of interesting, actually.
Right?
Well, I guess you could think of Father's Day then as whoever you have as your father, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
At that point, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, because you do Father's Day and Mother's Day together. There's usually one combined Parents' Day, and it's like, yeah, right, I have a mom, and I have a dad, and I have a mom and a dad, or I have two dads.
Whoever was responsible for my upbringing or something.
I don't know, like Guardians Day.
Dude.
Right?
That could be, like, kind of sweet, actually. Like
what if your brother is too?
You know? Like,
I don't know. That's crazy, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We are very thankful for you guys and you men that have stuck it out with your kids and raised them and are raising them and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
But dude, like I said, we've got a great episode today.
Actually, our week was kind of slow, I think. I mean,
it was a slow week.
We did a lot of sales work. We do a lot of technical work, kind of have the blend again. If we had a camera behind our backs, it'd be like... I don't feel like we do a lot of, like, corporate, like, biz dev work, but we do a lot of, like, getting down and dirty, I think. Like, doing sales, doing technical work. So I guess kind of our weeks are kind of just, like, grinds all the time. Yeah,
it's not really, like, all glamorous stuff, but we do run into some issues throughout our weeks that are always rant worthy that I'm always like, man, I can't...
A lot of issues, actually.
Dude, like, there are, like... we'll be like coding or doing this mundane stuff or just trying to solve a simple problem that we're not going to think about the next day. And then sometimes we run into things that I'm like, I cannot wait for Sunday because we got to talk about this.
Sunday night WrestleMania.
So yeah, we had a...
Today is the SmackDown.
The SmackDown. Yeah. Sunday.
Exactly.
To build an agency. But... No, in all seriousness, like, we had a pretty, chill week with sales and meetings, but as kind of in the midst of those meetings that we kind of run into a lot of misconceptions when it comes to online marketing. And I think that even people that even think that they're good at online marketing or think that they have a solid understanding or a grasp of it actually don't.
Yeah. We've been talking to it's kind of an in for a really big company here. And they had a really big misconception on the scope of work or the scope that it would take to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. And with them knowing that, they vastly underhired for their job, and I don't have a shred of doubt in my mind that they will fail. I mean, it's hard to say, but it's like if you aren't willing to put the money in up front for experience, for that skill, that talent, as well as the resources needed to accomplish a task, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just half-ass things and or pay a small amount of money because you're like, oh, they'll be able to do the same thing as someone with more money. That's not true. You're actually increasing the risk for yourself. When you have more money in an equation, it usually means you can avoid more risk. So, I mean, I've actually been thinking that a lot lately. Is spending less money necessarily a good thing? Like, if you could get something for cheaper, is it always good to get it for cheaper, or should you just spend the money up front because you're actually, preventing some like loss of service?
I think there's a much bigger picture when it comes to spending money on online marketing. Like, yes, some things are expensive and some things are inexpensive, but I think the most important thing is, what is the most cost-effective method of getting the most attention for your brand or product or service or whatever it is that you're selling? So, I mean, like, even if it is expensive, are you getting a massive amount of attention from it?
The return.
Like
that ROI.
It's all about the ROI.
Back to the ROI.
I mean, because at the end of the day, if you have a high ROI, like, yeah, you may have spent, $500, $600, $700 on a Facebook ad, but if you're selling, high value products or whatever, you'll make that money back.
Right. Actually, before we go too far, I was speaking to a CMO like 5 weeks ago, and she didn't know what ROI is. So ROI is return on investment. So if you need to Google ROI, please do. It's like the single most. It's simply. It's super important for marketing.
It's simply like, by way of example, I invest $250 into a weekend Facebook promotion, and I sell 3 of my products that are listed at $500. So you spent $250, but you made $1,500. So your return on investment is
whatever that number is.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do the math in my head right now. But yeah, so you want to be cost effective, but still get the job done and get a return on that. So, and I guess we could just sort of jump back to under preparing or underestimating a scope of a project. So I speak to a lot of people every week, and so do like our other sales guys. A lot of people don't see value in internet marketing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because they get jaded by seeing some of these people from like the Philippines who have been like, doing things, doing like link wheel or like spammy tactics, like unsafe SEO or unsafe online marketing practices. Is unsafe a word? Not safe.
Yeah, unsafe.
So
yeah,
they're using these like really bad automated tactics that end up getting them penalized. And, of course you can get away with it. You're paying $50 and you get a huge like amount of links to your site or whatever you're getting for, $20. But that's a good way to set yourself up for failing websites. That's a good way to set yourself up for huge penalties. Like just this week alone, we were speaking to a top 100 motivational speaker in the United States. Literally a top 100 motivational speaker.
The Kevin Saunders.
Yeah. He has like won tons of Paralympic medals, and he has like a bunch of safety speeches and stuff like that. And when we were running through his website, just kind of doing a basic site audit, we saw like just tons and tons of links from like Colombia and Russia, and they were all being taken off of his website because Google thinks they're spammy. And so he was just losing tons, just shedding all of this link weight. And it's like, you just ended up wasting money. Yeah, you spent, $50 for 8 months, which is, super cheap. But at the end of the day,
you got a bunch of penalties and no one's coming to your website anymore.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you actually just wasted that money because you didn't do it right the first time. So my grandpa used to have a saying, if you don't want to run the mile, you end up running a mile and a half later.
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing.
It is far better to spend the money up front to do it the right way, and you'll actually save money in the whole process. Like,
yeah, and that's not a pitch for us or anything. Like, oh,
No.
spend it the right way. But
No, like-
what it is like actually pay attention to like the money that you want to put in, what kind of return you can get. Like, everything's a gamble at the end of the day.
I mean, I know a lot of people like to use like local agencies and stuff. Like, if you're not in Texas and you're listening to this, please find a real inbound marketing agency that knows what they're doing in your area and have them do it the right way. Don't try to hire guys who are in the Philippines who are going to charge you $25 to $50 a month and then send a ton of links from not your country, i.e. Russia, Colombia,
Northern Europe. Like,
we've seen some SEO people do a bunch of links from like South Africa. I mean, it's not a good look. It doesn't help you. You waste a bunch of money that, you're again, like, you're going to have to run that mile and a half later anyways. So you might as well just do it.
Yeah.
Like, DIY SEO is never good.
Yeah. I mean, it can be done, but here's the other thing. You're spending time learning it, and speed in a business is so important. It's just like, would you rather have someone that's been doing online marketing for 9 years do your work, or would you rather learn it for the next 9 years just to be as good as him, and while you're running your company and try to put in the practices while you, like, it's just absurd. Like,
well, compared to other things, do you do your own plumbing? Like, are you that good of a plumber? Or can you fix your roof by yourself? Can you fix the foundation of your home by yourself? Can you? I mean, like, there's so many things that you don't learn yourself, or do DIY projects on, for yourself, because it can be harmful for you and your home or your investments to do it yourself and not hire an expert. Like, it's the same with SEO. You can totally tank your website if you don't do it right.
Oh, yeah. Like, so the guy we're actually talking to, his website went down for an hour, and he called his web host. And what ended up happening is they had to owe him, I think it was like $50,000 because his website was down for 1 hour, or it was like 30 minutes, I think. 30 minutes or an hour it was down for, and they owed him $50,000 because that's how much it was worth to him to have his website down for that long.
It's crazy.
So, like, yeah, could you imagine? So, I mean, could you imagine if he got a penalty too, and his website just like faded off the planet, Like, that would just be ridiculous. He would lose all his money. He would lose a ton of money. So, actually, can I read this article from SEM Rush right now?
Dude, yeah.
So it's an article that, who wrote this? It's Andy Kearns from the SEM Rush blog.
Wrote it back in April.
Yeah, and what he says, this is April 14, 2017 when he wrote it. Don't fall for the fantasy of effective in-house SEO. And we're talking a lot about SEO right now, but really this applies to kind of any agency. Don't fall for the fantasy of effective in-house blank. So it doesn't exist. And these are his counterpoints. So in a recent post here on SEM Rush, he's saying his esteemed fellow marketer Ron Dodd, partner and CEO of Vistature, said he feels it shouldn't be hard to build an internal SEO team capable of, quote unquote, world Google domination. And Andy says, with all due respect, Mr. Dodd, I beg to differ. For a vast majority of businesses, and all businesses that aren't household names in more than 3 countries, it's not just hard, it's damn near impossible. And the prospect of building a successful in-house SEO team that's more durable, more versatile, and less expensive than an SEO agency is a fantasy. So what follows is a counterpoint to Mr. Dodd's thesis based on a number of different data points and realities. It will cover 4 primary subjects: the real-world cost of full-time employees, millennial turnover, creative capacity and experience, and emotional burden of addressing failure. So Mr. Dodd's article describes SEO teams in a variety of shapes and sizes. Andy says he'll focus on what he calls the enterprise team because, frankly, it's the only one that could begin to compete with the capabilities of a fully flexed agency. An enterprise team is made up of the following: one VP or director, salary $100,000; a manager whose salary is $60,000; two specialists, salaries $45,000 each; two copywriters, outreach specialists, salaries $45,000 each. It's also noted this team would need approximately $34,000 for tools and training. I think that number's a bit low when you factor in the time to learn tools, time to do training, time to shop for both, but it's one of the points I agree with most. The rest of the numbers for the enterprise team, all of which add up to $340,000, are fantastic in the bad way. Keep reading, I'll back that up, is what he's saying. So the real world cost. Studies show the real cost of an employee goes staggeringly beyond base salary. One report by software company Dell Tech estimates the cost and benefits, overhead, and administrative fees at 78% of each individual base salary. And there are plenty more resources to back that up. Going by those numbers, $340,000 then becomes $605,000. That's more than $500,000 annually. The next point is millennial turnover. Speaking of staggering numbers, according to Gallup, millennials are 3 times more likely than any other generation to have changed jobs in the last 12 months. And 91% of them expect to be at their current job less than 3 years. Sorry, folks, you can't afford the burden of that turnover. SEO takes time. It takes drumbeat of strategic excellence and creative output. Millennials, if used sparingly, will sabotage you. The difference between an in-house team of 3 to 4 people and an agency of 20 to 50 is the depth of that agency roster. If anyone drops out, there are 2 people ready to pick up the slack. We deal with millennial turnover just like anyone else. The difference is we have more millennials. So I guess he's talking about SEMrush. So creative capacity and experience. In his proposal, Mr. Dodd notes that a copywriter is a very critical piece of the team. We couldn't agree more, and suggests enterprise teams should pick up 2 of them for the low price of $45,000 each. Wait 1 minute. A salaried copywriter at $45,000 is going to be pretty green, as in still trying to buff off the tendency toward the kind of ornate prose that's celebrated in undergrad creative writing workshops, but rivaled in the business world. So there's that. More important, there's this. If you're going to pay more than $500,000 a year for enterprise team led by VP director and tasked with world domination, you better be getting more than blogs. That kind of money should get you a whole range of exciting content, graphics, guides, interactive data visualization. If you're putting more money towards link building in earnest, you want stuff that's going to be picked up and shared by top news and industry publications. You want stuff that gets on Huffington Post, Yahoo, Mental Floss, and Forbes. To do that by yourself from scratch is a hell of a task. You need creative experts, graphic designers, programmers, data analysts, and creative leads to drive ideation and tie it all together. I won't even mention what that team will set you back, but I can guarantee this. When you belly up to the table and sign with a great agency, you're getting all of it in spades. You're getting decades of combined experience and specialization. You're getting everything you could possibly want or need in pursuit of SEO world domination. So I think this is the final point. The emotional burden of addressing failure. This may be the most controversial part of the argument, but it's one we can't look away from. We don't like to think about emotions in business context because they're not typically welcome. So the problem is that they're always there, just beneath the surface, informing all aspects of our work. So you ask any manager or leader what's the single most difficult part of their job, the part they dread the most, the part she'd do anything to avoid, it's letting someone go. And right behind that, it's having to manage and push people who aren't getting the job done while stall and let things drag out in order to avoid doing the one thing you hate the most. In his post, Mr. Dodd talks about keeping an in-house team accountable, but advises that we not berate them if goals are not being met. Sheesh, that sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Is it realistic though? Turns out it doesn't matter. Whether or not you're comfortable berating your team for not meeting goals is a moot point. Why? Because nobody is shy about berating an agency that's getting paid top dollar on an hourly basis, and that's great for business. By presenting as a collective team of people, agencies open themselves to full and frequent criticisms from their clients if they fail to meet expectations. Again, that's good for business. Take this one step further. Suppose you spend a year or so building your enterprise team. After another year, you're not seeing the desired results. Also, let's say you can't quite put your finger on the problem. It's not any one person or weak point. The crew just isn't getting the job done, or maybe they're making progress, just not justifying their $600,000 a year cost. Then what? Do you axe the whole team? Do you march 3 or 4 people into your office one at a time, people you like and have relationships with, to tell them they don't have a job anymore? If so, that's a heavy burden. On the flip side, no one's losing sleep over the prospect of firing their agency. Good agencies have lots of millennials and lots of clients. They can handle it, and their clients know that. Still, let's say you're shrewd, you're tough, you're consummate business person, and yeah, absolutely you could axe the whole team if it isn't performing. Now there's just one question left to answer. Where are you going the minute the bloodbath is over? You're going to an agency. So I love this article, and I want this to be everyone who owns an agency or is considering opening an agency, works with an agency, whatever, to think of this exact article. This is just, there's nothing I disagree with in there. No. Actually, it makes perfect sense. I love it.
Well, it sets realistic expectations for the scope of work that online marketing requires, and how much money you're really going to spend on a team, in-house, when you can just hire an agency that knows what they're doing. Like, there's so much less pressure on you, and you're spending so much less money.
And I love this article too, that it's meant for an SEO agency, really, because it's written for that purpose. But really, it can apply to any agency. It can apply to any facet, really.
Any company that's trying to decide, should we go with an agency or should we build an in-house team, needs to read this article and to really weigh out.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't just double down on your strengths,
Yeah.
If you're a software company, why would you try to build an in-house marketing team? That's silly. Double down on your marketing, or double down on your software strengths, and let the marketing happen somewhere else.
Yeah, like spend more money making your product better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spend less money and let an agency take care of your
less
online
time
marketing.
and less, this.
Because agencies can be 5 times more effective than your little in-house team you built at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
And
it's just it's a no-brainer, guys. Keep an eye out for the stuff.
Yeah, if you are considering doing online marketing and you're trying to decide if we should hire people in-house or if we should hire an agency, talk to some local agencies in your area, set up a meeting and do, do some more research.
Do the right thing.
You'll thank yourself later. Because it's like he said, if your whole team flops and you can't justify paying them anymore and you have to get rid of all of them, you're going to an agency anyways. It's kind of going back to the whole DIY SEO thing we were talking about. You will eventually have to do the right thing anyways and go and talk to the experts.
If you don't run a mile, you're going to run a mile and a half.
Exactly. So that's not a plug for us, but that is a plug for all of our brothers and sisters who run agencies. And
that might actually be a sales point for some of you. So hopefully, with a name like To Build an Agency, we're attracting agency leaders.
Yeah.
So some of those points might actually be really good sales points that you could use for your sales team even. So if people are worried about working with the company, working with your agency, you might be able to use some of those as sales points too.
Mm-hmm. So that's crazy.
Yep. What else did we do this week?
Setting
up our new pipelines.
We were working on a new pipeline for ourselves.
which I'm super pumped for. It's a Facebook. It starts the opening of the funnel. The opening of the funnel is from Facebook advertisement.
Yep.
And dude, you have just been crushing it with those lately.
Dude, well, I mean, I made this pivot to this new role, running our campaigns and to hitting those head on, you know. So I've just been learning a ton, just lots of trade secrets, lots of ad hacks. There's just ways to get, you know, to get our ad or get our service or whatever in front of the right people for ourselves and our clients. It's been good. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of trial and error.
It's been super receptive too from clients. Like literally in the last week, I think we've had like 3 extra people have like Facebook ads that they want to start running.
Oh yeah,
so
we went from running like really not that many Facebook ads for people, and now we're like running a lot of them because like they're becoming extremely effective. Like we set up one today that I'm actually really excited about. There's one of our clients out in Dallas. We tripled their leads in a few months.
Yeah, these guys are drowning. We like get emails. We get like emails.
They're drowning in leads. Yeah, drowning in clients.
They literally can't they have clients going back to the contact forms saying, "Hey, we tried contacting you for quotes," and we still like they literally can't handle how many people.
They're gonna have to hire out in order to make up for it. But they love their results with us, and so the owner's wife is actually selling these things like called like the Helo or the Hello.
It's like wearable tech.
It's like a wearable.
It's like a D1 Fitbit. It's like if Fitbit was like in high school.
Well, it's cool, dude. Like you can
Helo band is like just
you can set off like a panic alarm, and like so if you got like a kid who's got one of these, you can figure out where their location is, or if like your grandma falls down or whatever, she can hit the button. I mean,
you can do like EKGs to, like, check your heart.
You can like monitor like family members from like across the nation. So like if you buy one for like your elderly parents or whatever, and like you're living thousands of miles away, you can pull an app up on your phone and see how you can see like how their vitals are doing and see if they're doing okay.
Yeah, it's really sweet actually.
That's crazy.
Plus they have like in like October or August, I think they're supposed to add like a blood alcohol content and like check your blood glucose on there. So like diabetics.
I don't even know how that thing's gonna check blood alcohol level, but you know,
sweat maybe.
Maybe, but like all that aside, you know, we set up a really sick ad for them using like a video, like a really cool video commercial they set up, and Facebook ads is just so powerful and who you can target. Like you can target buyer profiles and you can even target out specific behaviors on Facebook. Yeah. It is insane. Like if you are an agency and you guys are like looking into doing Facebook ads for your client, like when you go to like, you know, to search for like a specific audience or whatever in the search bar for it, type in buyer profiles and just see like how many different kinds of buyers you can target on Facebook. It is unreal.
We've always been kind of fans of Facebook ads, but lately it's just like becoming unreal. When you can literally target people out because they have bought health and wellness stuff before, so you know that they're probably going to buy health and wellness stuff again. Like that's just unreal. Like, come on. This is ridiculous. We are setting up this pipeline literally for like business owners and people who are probably interested in online marketing. So like, boom, we expect results, you know?
Yeah.
Probably going to drop like, I don't know how much money in like a day or two, just to see how much we can like flip. So we're setting up like some nice e-commerce stuff on our site right now. Just kind of automate the process. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, it's good. Like we're starting to rank nationally for like blog posts, like buying blog posts. And
yeah. We're like on the first page for buy blog posts, and I think we're like the 3rd result for Safe SEO company.
Yeah, and
so that's nice.
it goes up and down a lot, but I mean it's crazy that like we're starting to really get the credibility for our website because it's less than a year old. So
I think it's less than 4 months old.
Yeah, it's less than 4 months old. So, I mean, if you didn't know, like the younger your website is, the harder it is to kind of get you to rank, just because you're not as established yet. And so, we rebuilt our entire site a few months ago, and just have been going crazy on trying to set up lots of solid backlinks and build up lots of domain authority for our site so we can rank for these things. And yeah, it's starting to pay off. I mean, SEO is definitely not an overnight thing, but the payoff is so worth it.
Yeah. It's nice to see, that good traffic that we're getting. And they're all people who are like, interested in our stuff because we're obviously ranking for the keywords that we want to rank for. So
but the pipeline's for blog posts, right? For Facebook?
No, the pipeline is going to be, it's kind of like an SEO hybrid, like a Chimera sort of thing.
Okay.
Where we're kind of bundling our content writing and our search engine optimization services.
That's awesome.
So should be getting people ranking for, some good
I'm excited to see
keywords. And since we take competitor info into mind when we do our content writing, which if you're doing content writing, you should take into consideration what your competitors are doing. So if you're doing that, and since we look at like other social signals as well, we're hoping to put together like this nice hybrid package that's just like gonna slay it for small companies.
Yeah.
That really want some extra, expertise, I guess, for their field. Like they want to become the influencers in their field. It's definitely going to be huge ROI for some people out there. So
I'm excited. Yeah, you've been working more bottom of the funnel. I've been kind of researching more top of the funnel. So I'm actually really excited to kind of see how the landing
for
page
this
is
pipeline.
looking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. It's gonna be pretty good. And plus we have like Ryan doing a lot of Ryan's doing like all the copy for it, so that's good. We got some input from Greg, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited. Maybe in like a week or two, maybe we can update, on here how the pipeline's doing and what we did to set it up. And
yeah, what would be really cool if we bring up, dude. We say a lot of stuff on this podcast that we don't actually do, but like just we get so busy, and this podcast isn't like the first thing on our mind.
Well, there's so many things we could talk about that. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's going to sit here and listen to us for an hour. They might, but
plus I don't want to sit here for an hour. I'd rather be doing other things.
But we'll eventually hit all of it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, maybe. So next week it'll be running for sure. So what we'll probably do is run ad campaigns. We'll put like, I don't know, $400 or $500 in like 1 or 2 days. So like it'll be super condensed.
Yeah, we've got some interesting A/B tests. So essentially, for those of you guys who don't know, like a lot of your reach or how many people are going to see your ad, of course, depends on how you've targeted it, like what demographics and what behaviors and personas and stuff. But it's also the time frame that you've set the ad for and what your budget looks like,
and the relevance of the ad.
So if your ad is relevant, if Facebook determines your ad is relevant to the audience you're trying to reach, you are now in an auction on Facebook. So your ad is going to get in front of those that have a higher budget for that day, because Facebook is going to try and get you, the lowest price possible to win that bid. And sometimes you'll lose out. Like one of my first like Facebook ad campaigns I ever ran, I remember kind of feeling really confused and defeated because I set up this, like week-long campaign, and the client wanted just $25 on the specific campaign, and the campaign only actually spent $9 total. So just because you set a budget, that doesn't mean that's what you're going to pay. It means that Facebook's not going to charge you more than that number, and it's going to use those funds to try and outbid people, to accomplish the purpose of your ad, whether it's website clicks or conversions or views, reach, whatever. Like if impressions is your thing, reach would be that.
Shop clicks or whatever.
Yeah. So you got to remember, just because you set a budget doesn't mean that's what you're going to spend. So what we're actually really excited to try out is we're going to put a lot of money on in a short amount of time, because on both of those days, it's going to have more money to out auction and outbeat out everyone. We will literally be unignorable
for like a few days.
For like 2 days. Yeah, but like really, like if the ROI is good, it's good. But yeah, so your reach is going to be this alchemy between the days of the campaign and the budget. So the less days that you're cramming a larger budget into, the more exposure you're going to get in for those days. So
You know, it'd be funny,
huh?
if so. We're gonna be targeting like business owners, business leaders.
Yep.
It'd be funny if we have some listeners. There's a lot of you out there. I know you're listening, even though you don't talk to us on Facebook. I know you're listening. So I wonder if some of these people who are listening to us will actually be seeing some of our ads. So like on Thursday,
If you see an ad for Hone,
yeah, let us know. It'd be pretty funny.
Tell us how bad it was and how much it sucked. Or
Dude, no, this thing's crushing it. We are, oh man, dude, we're going to slaughter it. If you see it and you don't buy, then it was a bad job. But you'll see it and you're just going to buy it. You're going to be like, whoa, I just got sucked into Hone's thing. And we'll be like, yeah, because we're like crushing it right now with the sweet Facebook pipelines and stuff. But yeah, no, it'll be a good draw. There's going to be a nice little video. I think we didn't shoot a video today. We got to shoot a video sometime, but
I mean, so we did like a brief rundown of, Facebook ads, but I think probably in the next month or two, when we've got a lot more data and we've done a lot more experimentation with, Facebook advertisements, I want to kind of do what you did with like the sales episode.
Yeah, dude, that'd be really nice.
I just want to tear it up and really lay out Facebook ads and how we can, leverage.
I actually think someone could run an entire business just with Facebook ads.
Oh, I think so too.
I think someone could actually run an entire
and we
business.
might be about to if we do well enough.
Yeah, it might become our like best selling point areas. I don't know. Or most repeatable selling, Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
But anyways, ready to cash this thing out?
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
this was awesome.
Oh, I think this is a great episode. I'm really enjoying doing this more and more, and I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and listening. Like having our listenership go up all the time is just so humbling.
Yeah, we saw a 45% increase in unique listeners this month. Like, and it's not even it's only half of the month.
Yeah, I'm just blown away. Like it's fantastic. Like, thank you guys so much for listening to us. We're just two guys in West Texas trying to build our agency and to try and to bring a lot of value to our clients and to you guys. We know what it's like to be business owners who are struggling and are discouraged sometimes and are frustrated and are constantly grinding. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it's worth it, but man, just keep pushing, keep grinding.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Keep on keeping on. Seriously.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And we look forward to seeing you in episode 11.
Peace.